welcome everybody to this episode of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with
Uncle Spoke.
And your boy Damon.
welcome to this week's episode. It's the Friday after Thanksgiving. So, we're going to follow the theme of what we're thankful for, which I think is going to be pretty interesting. And we ain't going to take too much of your time, but we're going to chop it up just a little bit, and have a little bit of fun with it. Okay? Just for a little bit of housekeeping, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. We would like you to go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. Just take 30 seconds to do so. Build our numbers up so we can get to somebody else. I know you like seeing us. Look, you tell your friend who's going to tell their friend who's going to tell their friend. Y'all serve YouTube anyway. Let's take advantage of this community. But with all that being said, please go like, share, and subscribe. How you doing today, Jaquari?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm hanging on with both hands, brother.
That's the best way to do it, boy, in all aspects. What about you, Damon? How are you today?
Feel good, man. I'm riding from yesterday, man. My whole family was home. I was made whole. We ate good, shot pool, man. Had a great, wonderful day, man. And continuing on today. So now everybody laid back, sleeping.
Yeah. We had a great Thanksgiving. Also went over a friend's house. You know what I mean? They had a great feast and with a lot of laughter and camaraderie. That's the way that I think that's the whole point of it. Having family and friends. You don't get caught up on the pilgrims and all of that. If you get real deep in it, because the pilgrims, didn't have, quote unquote, the best interest of the natives that were there. So, with that being said, it's still Thanksgiving, so you give thanks to everybody and everything that's in your life. You feel what I'm saying? Why don't we just do this, man? Just if and you don't have to go through a long dissertation of it, but two questions. First question is, what is your definition of thankfulness? Being thankful. What your personal definition? What do you think that is? And also, people in the comments, please add to this. Give us an idea what you think thankfulness is, and then I'll wait on the second question. But let's start with the first question. Damon, what's your definition of thankfulness?
My definition of being thankful, man, is recognizing what you're blessed with and maintaining it. You know what I'm saying? Having the wherewithal and understanding that, this is a blessing, man, that's been given to us, and it needs to be recognized. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be a tradition.
Okay.
Just having awareness, man, of God's blessing.
Okay. Good. Jaquari, what about yourself?
My definition of thankfulness, man, is understanding the opportunity, man, to be useful to somebody is important, man. It's very important. As much as we try to be mindful of our own self, our own mental health and everything, man. Even within that turmoil, which is sometimes it can be tumultuous or whatever, man. But even within that state, man, if you can be useful to somebody else and do good for other people, man, you're definitely blessed in that regard. So it ain't all about the imaginary bliss that comes from heavenly happiness. That's we'll get that one day. We'll get that one day. But in the meantime, man, throughout the struggle, if you can lighten somebody's load throughout the struggle, even when things are at the heaviest for you, that's something to be thankful for.
Oh yeah. I think my definition of it is, it's a broader thing because I know you guys have more to it. You know what I mean, as far as what it is, but what comes to mind for me is agreeing with what both you just said. Also, I want to add in because there's many facets to it, but I want to add in to be able to think back of being able to think back of what occurred to you in your lifetime and what occurred to you in your lifetime and what you were able to get through,
Much love, sis.
and to be able to do the things that you need to do as far as who you are, especially if you're in a good place in your lifetime. You know what I mean? Some of us are blessed. A lot of us are blessed to be in a good place. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of to be able to reflect. That's what I'm saying. To reflect back on it. So that's part of it. My definition of thankfulness. You feel what I'm saying? Because when you realize what you've been through and what you're doing now, it's a beautiful thing, man. It really is. With that being said, in conjunction of it, is it easy for you to thank somebody for what they did for you? Is that an automatic response, or do you just receive it and you go forward? Do you take the time, if somebody do you a kindness, do you take the time to thank them for it?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, even if it's the smallest gesture. I mean, I've been told at times I even overextend myself. But in my mind, it's such a rare occasion that somebody does go out of their way for me.
Okay.
That when it happens, man, I genuinely appreciate it. I genuinely appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Damon, what about you?
For me, it's simply recognition, man. You know what I'm saying? Just recognition through conversation, man. I appreciate having a conversation with somebody who recognizes something about you, man, that they appreciate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like you don't know just how much you need that until you in that situation and it happens, and then this overwhelming feeling comes across you is being grateful, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's being grateful. You know what I'm saying? I I don't know how often when I think about it in retrospect, it happens in my life a lot. You know, sometimes when I don't recognize it, I kick myself in the ass because I'm like, wow, man, I really appreciated that. Then you find yourself calling that person back and say, hey, man, you know what? I really appreciate what you said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That touched me in a way, man, and it was something that I could use to respond in recognition. Hey, man, thank you.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
definitely makes an impact, man. It does.
It does. It does. I think people misunderstand it when you know you feel we need to thank people so they either can continue to do that certain thing for you or to stay in good graces, right? But also, in a way to thank somebody is to verbally say it, but also to pay it forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, I've
Isn't it
always
lit? I'm
no. Go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead, Damon.
I was gonna say, isn't it like living in the moment also, man? Sometimes the people that's giving you those compliments and the love and the gratitude, man, it is something that comes across their mind, something they want to express.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not scripted. It's not, what I'm saying. It's just something that happens in the moment, and I think it's incumbent upon all of us, man, to at least recognize that, because it's that's the thing that happens that you come to appreciate really because it comes out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just as importantly, man, it's incumbent upon us, man, to be able to receive that, man, seriously, man, because I also have issues with that. You know, not that I don't believe it when somebody is genuinely courteous or uh, giving to me. Not that I don't believe it, but you know, in my mind, like I said, I just don't see it happening that often. So it's hard for me to accept. It really is, and I don't fight it. Don't get me wrong, but you know, I mean, I might come across as like, you sure, bro, for real? Oh man,
Mhm.
thank you.
Mhm.
I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah.
You know,
I,
and it's
I
not. Oh,
go,
go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish.
Yeah, and it's nothing against the person or whatever. You know, I don't feel like a manipulation in any regards or anything like that. You know, it's just hard for me to accept. I don't know why. It always has been. It always has been. So I don't look for it.
You know, I've learned what I've learned to do is accept things. But see, the thing about it is why it was always a problem for me is because when I do something for someone, it is not because I have a motivation behind it. It's because I taught myself to be that towards people, right? Because I've always admired people who do selfless acts. I mean, really and true. I put them high on a pedestal where I look at certain people who didn't have to do a certain thing, and they did it. You know what I'm saying? So, me learning as a child, because it has to be there already. I think. You know what I mean?
I think it's innate in us, man, as human
Yeah, yeah,
beings. I really do.
but see, it's like a muscle too. You got to exercise it too.
But
And
the world will have you clouded though, man, because you know I've been in situations where I've needed a thing. You know what I mean? But I
mhm.
didn't want to accept it from a specific person because I knew that specific person was going to go and have conversations with other people. You know, and
I,
the older that I've gotten, you know, I mean that's a wicked aspect of pride, man. It really is. I don't give a shit
Mm.
if you go and if you go and broadcast it on the fucking White House steps or whatever. If I needed it done and you did it, I don't give a fuck if you know who you tell.
yeah,
But that's another thing that a lot of us got to get past.
yeah, yeah. It's a sign of maturity for you to not. I mean, like, well, what do you do that for? You know what I mean? That type of attitude. Like, bro, look. First of all, you needed it,
Yeah,
and the Almighty provided a way, even if it came from your so-called adversary. It came.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It came,
That's your,
and that's the stuff we need to recognize.
that's your pride, man. You know you gotta swallow that, man. You gotta swallow it,
Yeah.
man, and be and make sure you do everything you can not to be in that position again. And more importantly, as I think Damon just said, you or Keith, you gotta be looking for opportunities to pay it forward, man.
Yeah,
You've got to look for opportunities to pay it forward.
yeah. I mean, that's easy to do, man. That's an easy thing to do. You know,
Hmm.
always like first of all, where you learn it, the simple thing when you're going into a store and a brother leaves the door open so you can walk through. What's the first thing you do as soon as you walk through that threshold?
Thank you,
Thank
bro.
you, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
That's it.
Thank you, brother.
But,
Thank you,
but
sir. Appreciate it. Absolutely.
always, because that's the simple step. But you know, the thing about it is, it was some young guys I had to teach that.
Yeah.
Like, bro, they didn't have to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So if you didn't want them to open the door for you, what you can do is grab the door. No, after you, sir. You feel what I'm saying? Now you're not being rude, and plus you're holding on to whatever you holding on to because you didn't want to walk through that door.
Hmm.
You feel me? You know,
If you're willing to present the choice, man, that's all you can do, man. That's courteous. Giving the person the
that's
choice
all.
is courteous.
Yeah, because if a woman does it, I'm definitely not walking through that
Man, first, listen,
I'm not
this
gonna
happened
do
to me. Hey, Keith, this happened to me the other week, man.
it. Uh-huh.
This woman rushed to the door and held it open for me. And we started there. This was at the gas station. We started there. She just sitting there holding the door, waiting for me to walk through. And then I said, man, I am not walking through that door. Could you please come out? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I said, can you please come out? I'm not walking through that door.
yeah.
And she was like, "You a gentleman, sir. I appreciate that." And I walked in, I had an attitude, man. Because the gas station was full of people, man.
But see,
Men and women like full of people. And I was like, really? Come on out of here. You know, I ain't say, bring your ass, come on out of here, please.
carry
I
your
ain't
ass.
do that. But I could not bring myself to walk through that door, man.
But you know that's home training though. See, that's the thing. Like what we're discussing right now is the protocol of how to walk in this life, man. Because you gotta have a framework on how you're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I think you need to teach your children that too. Like, understand it's cool to be courteous. Now, don't be foolish in your courteousness. Don't be foolish because some people, and this is my opinion, will try to take advantage of that. You feel what I'm saying? Because, you know, for some dumb reason, everybody's always saying, we're going to take your kindness for a weakness. Because you're a kind human being, you're weak. You know what I'm saying? But see, it takes strength to be kind.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Because I've spoken to brothers, man, who looked me in the face and actually said the words, man, I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? And my response is always, I don't know you either, bro. I was just speaking to a brother. That's all. And walked away, listened to this child in the back of my ear. You know, there was a side of me, the old me would have been like, okay, if he's still outside, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna see what he was trying to show me I was about. I'm gonna see that. And just by the grace of God, they never showed up. They was never there. But I was willing. I was about that energy. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I mean,
But you know, still that's a foolish errand, man. You know what I'm saying?
it is.
Especially if you are being who you're supposed to be.
Yeah, because if you did have a confrontation with him, you wouldn't have proved you wouldn't have proven anything to him.
It wouldn't have proved anything.
It wasn't, that display would not have been for him at all. It would have been for you, and you already know who you are.
And see, and here's my thing. Always give grace, but that grace is on a short leash. You know what I'm saying?
But what's the definition of grace, though? Grace is a pass that's given for no reason whatsoever. Grace is the best blessing that you can give another man, and then as you walk through life. We can give each other grace for no reason.
Yeah.
And that brings me peace of mind.
And I think growing up in the times that we grew up in, man, people always talk about the heartache that black folks going through now. Man, we witnessed heartache to our community where there was no check or balance. We just had to take it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that our life was harder than what the folks going through now. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, I know we can remember times when there was a questionable shooting by a police officer and nothing happened. You understand what I'm saying, T? Or landlord tenant, just brutal things happening to black folks, and we had no voice. You feel me? I remember that. And I think our children now and our grandchildren now, we raised them to be fearless because we made sure that they didn't have to go through that. I mean, teaching them how to do it the right way and do it the wrong way. You know what I mean?
I believe there's definitely a section of the black male community, man, who have taken the things that our forefathers, man, marched and died for and got active for, in the past, man, and the privileges that we earn from those situations, man, we definitely conduct ourselves with responsibility while having those privileges or whatever.
Oh yeah,
because it could definitely go the other way.
it can go the other way.
Real quick.
And I think the majority of the time, it goes the right way. But
Most of the time it does. And
we get reminded where the hell we came from. But go ahead, Damon.
And I agree with you, sis, because me taking that stance that I took, that was going through life, and that was just, that was a mature act. You know what I'm saying?
That's all
it was wisdom behind that. You know what? No matter how this person responded to me, I did the right thing. You know, man, it was a young cat. Now I wonder how he feel. Now he probably was in his 20s. You know what I'm saying? You in your 30s, 40s. The older you get, you appreciate that acknowledgement about each other, man. You know, man, the brother spoke. Okay. You know, acknowledgement, man.
Look,
you know,
when I was young, I didn't give a flying fig whether or not you spoke or not. I'm speaking to you. You see what I'm saying? It's what it was. You don't got to speak back to me. You not hurting my feelings because what I'm doing is carrying myself the way I want to carry myself. You know what I'm saying? See, that's the thing is, I enjoyed walking with no fear of no man.
Ain't that crazy?
I was always wary. I was always thoughtful that things can go to far left easily.
Things go right.
But to walk erect, through life, just being, and I'm not talking about with black men or women. No, I'm talking about people. Like, I could be in any room I wanted to be in because I felt that. Nobody gave me permission to be in those rooms. I stepped into them. That's how I always felt. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and that's the funny thing is you try to relay that to people because it's hard to articulate how you move through life when you're satisfied with who you are as a human being. Because most people don't understand. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a bad thing because they have their own walk. You know what I mean?
It reminds me of the movie The Prompts when Eddie Murphy was dealing with old boy and he was getting hostile. He said, "Wait, man, what's going on? You my brother. You my brother." You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking about ways to neutralize the dumb stuff, man. It's like, come on, bro. We really doing this, man.
I mean, look, and I was law enforcement for 30 years, man. And a lot of times, white and black, they tried to trigger me because they felt as though being a black police officer, I can only do so much to them. You know what I'm saying? See, but when the white guy came in, and that's because of what he represented. And it's not because of who he was or how they seen him. They saw like, okay, you represent the so-called majority. So I'm gonna have to listen to you a little bit more than this guy. So what they would try to do is trigger me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you a sellout, or oh, you black, oh nigger, why are you in my, that type of thing. And the first thing I would do is look them straight in the eye and laugh at them. Laugh at what you say. Well, what you laughing about? I'm laughing at what you just said. You know I'm in here and I'm gonna stay in here until I'm done. I said that thousands of times. You understand what I'm saying? Not because I felt bigger. Man, I felt bigger before I put the uniform on. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That uniform didn't make who I was. I was who I was before I put that uniform on. So it's like, what I'm trying to do is come and remedy this situation. And because you hurt, because you're afraid, and you feel intimidated, guess what you're going to do? You're going to lash out. You're going to lash out until you start to feel sorry for yourself because you know you don't have no power over me. I'm going to do what I'm there to do. You know what I'm saying? But see, that's the thing is, in order to do that kind of work, and this is my own little personal thing, in order to do that kind of work, you have to be very sure of the human being that you are.
I agree.
You gotta be sure of who you are as a person, because insecurities come with that. You know what I'm saying? It does. Not because you feel like you can't do the job. It's because you are scrutinized, and people, you are the remedy to problems, and that's being real. That's unrealistic thinking. But that's what a lot of these men and women have to go through, and they can't take the pressure. And then, with all that's being said, then you got to worry about your life. Then you got to worry about your life. So pressure busts pipes, man. You know what I mean? Either makes diamonds or busts pipes.
You think about this, though, man. Real talk. Out of all, this month, in the month, I've been in the world 60 years, man. And I know y'all have similar experiences, man. Drama and the bullshit just come to you out of the blue. I mean, you could just be having a regular day. You know what I'm saying? And then somebody come to you with the bullshit. And then you have to, in response to that, you have to weigh out, okay, I got responsibilities, family, you know what I'm saying? I value my freedom, all this stuff, and my life. So it's a fine balance that you have to walk with that, man.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about recognizing the clown. Tell me that y'all don't recognize the clowns when they start running their mouth.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? The first thing that comes to mind is, man, I'm not going to get caught up with this fool because he having a bad day and he want to prove himself. I'm not going to be caught up in all that stuff. But if he crossed that line, then, I'm willing to be judged by 12. You know what I'm saying? But you always have to have that wherewithal, man, and that understanding. And it's like, do you, like you said earlier, do you let your pride kick in and go back and forth with a fool? The worst thing that can happen to a responsible black man is to get involved with a fool who ain't got shit to lose.
Yeah.
That could tear down years of taking care of business and responsibility.
So, you got something, Corey? Or
No.
so let me ask you a question, man. And it's not changing the subject completely, but it's going to a slightly different area. Our culture. I called somebody corny today, right? And once I said it, right? Once I said it, Jaquari, I'm like, well, so what? You know what I'm saying? So my question is, what is your definition of corny? And is it a good thing or bad? No. Okay, let's start with this. What's your definition? And then second part of it is, do you have the word corny in the negative category? And just
Well,
have a little bit of fun with this. Man.
I'll answer that question first, man. I don't consider a person, or the word corny being a negative thing at all. I mean, it does not to me it denotes a sense of I don't know, well, innocence, I would say.
Okay.
uh just to like a thing or a subject in its purest form, and to be able to enjoy something that other people not necessarily look down upon, but wouldn't be their first choice, but for you to find enjoyment in it, and fulfillment and everything. And that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing. But I don't see it as negative. I don't see it as negative, man. And what was the first part of the question?
What would be your definition of it?
My definition, yeah, I just sort of define my definition of it. Just having attitudes and interests that uh, don't necessarily align with the popular opinion.
Okay.
Uh, Something that might be a little more simpler, in regards to other people's tastes or whatever.
Gotcha.
That's it.
Okay. Malika said depends on what context. What do you think what it is? Because I was gonna wait for Damon to give me his definition, then we'll go a little bit deeper in it and I'll give you some context.
Well, a person that a person that you might consider to be a little more book smart, a person who you might consider to be a little more sheltered, somebody whose values are a bit more simplistic than everybody else's. A person who might decide not to take a risk,
Yeah.
just to keep things steady, status quo.
So what do you think, Damon?
First of all, in terms of the definition, I think that all it all depends on who you run with, man. The group that you're involved with. Sometimes it's people who are who don't have street smarts and stuff like that, and they carry themselves in that manner. You know, they don't know the lingo. They don't know the new fashion. They whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They don't dress the part. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess the group dynamic determines. Hey man, this person is outdated. They talk funny. They this and they that, and then people determine and decide. Well, that's corny. You know. But the thing about it, the thing that they uh, don't consider is that in them describing what's corny, hell, that's you too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just think about that for a minute. You clowning somebody that y'all determine as corny, but you got the same outfit in your closet. You feel me?
Yeah.
Or you like to read Shakespeare too. You
See,
know,
yeah, go ahead, man. You see that's what that that in itself, what you just said, right? You and Jaquari made some great points. And Malika, you're right, it depends on the context. The only thing that I think is can be put in the category as corny is a joke. Jokes, some jokes are corny, meaning they're funny, but they're so simple. You understand what I'm saying? They're so simple, you be like, oh my God, why did I laugh at that? You know what I'm saying?
But
Well,
sometimes they're the funniest jokes. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. And that's the truth. But see, when it comes to people, you said it, Damon, category. It's like groups, different groups. Like, how do you call somebody corny because he wants to get straight A's, she wants to get straight A's? How the fuck do you come out your mouth and call somebody corny because you getting C's and D's? Are you kidding me? Now, and you know, you know, that's what's so funny about it. Like, bro, are you calling him corny because he's getting A's and she's getting
Right.
A's? Are you
Right.
kidding me?
That is crazy as hell.
And God forbid this person is hanging out with the same group you hanging out with.
Yeah.
So how the fuck is this? How the fuck is you are you a success in both worlds? How the fuck do you manage that?
Listen, man.
Who the fuck do you think you are? Like,
See, what you want me to do? Dumb myself down?
Hey,
Short myself. You see that? But go ahead, then.
I remember, man, going into my senior year in college, man, not really having anybody recruit me and all that stuff. And I look over at the other table, and this cat that's on the honor roll and dean's honor roll and all that stuff got a whole stack of letters.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Sitting in front of them with choices to make. And I always thought, man, I wish I was a part of that table. You know what I'm saying? I always wish I was part of that table. Over here, this is average, literally. See, average.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not saying anything is wrong with that.
I just want to put it out there. You get if that all you can do is get C's and D's, that's cool. It's just you wrong for putting that tag on that A and B person.
making it a comparison.
Yeah, exactly.
And then coming to a conclusion, even though you hear statements being made about these people over here that we deem as corny and all that stuff, you want to be a part of that group. Because over here, that group, there's an expansion of all kind of experiences and ideas that you can get into. You know what I'm saying? People are actually looking at you because of your accomplishments. You know what I'm saying? They say, hey, you know what? It'll be a feather in my cap as always to get this guy to come play for us because he got A's and B's. Yeah. And you look over here, the guy who's getting C's and D's, and they like, man, where my letters at?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So your mind automatically gravitates over here with something that's out of your scope that you just can't quite understand because you didn't apply yourself in that regard.
Yeah.
All right, really quick, fellas, really quick. All right, why did the chicken cross the road?
I don't know why.
To get to the other side. Why did the squirrel cross the road?
Why did the squirrel cross the road?
Because he was stapled to the chicken's ass. That's a corny joke.
That's a corny joke. I get it.
It's funny though.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Because I can see the squirrel like this.
Yeah. Let me go, motherfucker. Why you bring me into this?
Listen, real quick, because I want to read.
I can make that funnier.
Go ahead, real quick, Dan.
Why did the squirrel cross the road with the chicken? Because he couldn't tell the difference between a girl chicken and a girl squirrel.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's why I work. That's why I work by myself.
Let me read what Malika put here because we kind of touched on this and we didn't go in depth. But see, the reason why I brought up the grades because that was the easiest thing. You know what I'm saying? When I said that was the easiest example. No, people are not persecuted for getting A's and B's, but I've seen it, right? Malika said it's not the grades. It's usually more to it. He may not subscribe to the trendy things like skipping class, smoking weed, and being popular. Sis, first of all, that is the same thing we're saying. Because if you skipping class and smoking weed, you getting C's and D's.
That's not necessarily the case, though.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm talking about the average person. Now you know we got savants who get blowed out, right? And still walk in that class and get an A like it was nothing.
Yeah,
there's nuances to it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? See, here's my thing. I'm gonna tell you, the skipping class and all that, right?
Didn't do that. Never skipped class.
But see, here's I wanted to read that because that's where people try to not feel bad about themselves. You feel what I'm saying? Like, all right, this is what I'm doing, right? But this person that I grew up with, that's my people, they corny. They ain't gonna skip. They not gonna do this. They not gonna run from the tardy people or get try to get caught skipping. You feel what I'm saying? And that's my thing is like, oh, he's a square because he don't smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? Or he's skipping class or whatever. And I'm like, okay, and that's the thing. I didn't care whether or not you call me corny or not because I could fit in anywhere. And I have. You feel me? But my thing is, I never understood, and it's not passing judgment, but I never understood why it mattered that this man or woman don't subscribe to what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So you put them on the outside of you, whether it's a good, oh, he a square, man, leave him alone. She's a square, man, don't bother her. Let her do her. You know what I mean? It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Like, oh, man, why is this square trying to hang out with us? You feel what I'm saying?
You know how thin the line is, man. I used to get teased because I spoke proper all the time. And in my mind, I remember taking speech classes because I had a lisp and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a lisp. So I'm gonna be teased because I got a lisp, or I'm gonna be teased because I'm enunciating my words. You know what I'm saying? So I just got to the point where I just didn't give a damn, man. You know. So there is that thin line there. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah. Malika said I had classes and played sports with popular people, but didn't care to hang out with them. I hung with my hood. I mean, that I see no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? See, I like it when people are in the spaces where they are comfortable, man. I hate peer pressure. You know why? Because me personally, peer pressure has kept our community down. And I'm not talking about coming from us peer pressure wise. I'm talking about the peer pressure of the so-called majority, thinking, well, look, we know this definition of these people is wrong, but we choose to believe it's right. And they still act accordingly because of the peer pressure. They don't want to be left out.
But but I remember specifically it being two categories of peer pressure. You had the people who were popular and people who aspired to be like or whatever, and the people who were trying to attain that popularity or whatever. But I mean, personally, I really can't remember being popular. I don't think I was. I mean, people knew who I was because of sports or whatever. But I was never like considered to be the cream of the crop or anything like that. That's nothing that's nothing I ever aspired to.
Yeah.
Because from what I've seen and what I experienced, the people who did have those positions or whatever, they peaked early.
Gotcha.
They peaked, and it's not a criticism, and it's just it's an outside observation because like I said, I didn't consider myself to be in that group, so why would I know these people's personal business like that? But I mean, I witnessed a lot of flames burn bright and burn out. When nobody talked about the steady flame. Nobody talked about it. They glorified they glorified the brightness of the people who were shining at the time.
Yeah. You know what? I was happy that I knew just about everybody.
Definitely, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where I'm walking, I'm in another city and I run into somebody from our city, I could stop and like, yo, what's up?
Yeah.
You understand? That was good for me. You know what I mean? And it was times when I would be somewhere and somebody that I knew casually was getting pressed by somebody. And I went and backed them up. Like, yo, what's up? You know what I mean? Not because I had some kind of loyalty. It was a simple fact. I know you. And I'm not going to see you out here stuck. You know what I'm saying? But and in the same breath, don't get brave when I get there. Because you're going to want me to do the heavy lifting. No, we getting you out of this situation. Then we'll talk about it later. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I've done that many times. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and some of them were very serious situations. But this is my point. I was happy that I knew a number of people.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to fit in. I didn't have to be a part of this group, that group. No, I'm like, yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like when I had a free period in lunch in high school, the sophomore, junior, senior year, I had a free period, and some of everybody, we'd be in the cafeteria, and we in there playing talking spades. White and black people. This is what we doing. And we would have tournaments and shit. So I got to know a lot of people. You know what I mean? So when I see them, like, oh, you remember when we, you know what I'm saying? And I was good with that. You know what I mean?
Well, I wasn't popular because for me, it was always wait and see.
Hey, man. Hey, Flute.
Wait and see attitude.
First of all,
I'm joking, man.
I know that because I know good and damn well you ain't getting ready to say that you wasn't popular. Oh, my God.
Oh, hell yeah. I rode the hell out of your coattails, bro.
No, it had nothing to do with it. From the
I was
time
all down in Detroit and
listen,
Rapids.
from the time Flute, Jaquari, from the time Flute,
yeah, I'm Lil Army.
Freshman year, Damon. You know, he had his little crew, his little young folks crew that he was running with, and then the old heads because he was hanging with me and Eric. Now he's popular with the old heads too. You know what I'm saying? And no, that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying to you is, like me, I was almost invisible until. No, I wasn't invisible.
I
knew everybody. No, I'm talking about just on a personal point of view, not on the football field, not on the court. Like people, I did get to know people. You know what I'm saying? And just the simple fact that I was always singular, a loner, but I still was cool with everybody.
You got to look at it in terms of our family dynamic, man. Our uncles, our father. I mean, we was all people knew us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people had expectations. I mean, remember going up in the barbershops, the conversations?
Yeah.
You know, so we were always that, but we had to meet up to that expectation and, you know, and move past it and into our own thing. That was our responsibility.
And having good home training helped out a lot because you spoke.
Yes, right. It was always a family dynamic thing. Yeah. It was always that.
Yes, sir. No, sir. How you doing today? How's everything? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It always amazed me, man, how, you know, even as a youngster, man, it's being out about town or whatever, being in Ann Arbor, being in Detroit, just being anywhere, man, and just having people come up and acknowledge me with my name, and I don't know who the fuck these people are. This happened, you know, it happened all the time, all the time, man, especially when we go down to Detroit.
Yeah.
You know, be somewhere, man. Jaquari, what's going on? And so what's going on, Armstrong? And all this and all that. You know, just you know, a casual, short conversation, and then they walk off. How you know them? I know them motherfuckers, man. I mean,
and it had a lot to do with, you know, our dad, man. He had a lot of friends.
Yeah,
but you know, friends that knew about us. You know
But
what I'm
just,
saying?
I mean, but for me, it had a particular impact, man, because y'all was gone, so well, we grew up together, or whatever, but we wasn't active, around the same time. But just knowing people through y'all, through pops, and through our cousins, and through other associations or whatever, and
Yeah.
and they know me by name,
Hmm.
because I always felt like I was by myself. But then we go, you know, to the D, to the Ann Arbor or whatever, man, and hell, if anybody in the group is covered, it's me, because it's been 3 or 4 dudes that my men know, who come up to us and acknowledge me personally.
Hmm.
Just checking the temperature. What's going on, brother? You good? Everything good? Everything good? Okay, yeah, all right, y'all be safe. And then they roll out. Well, how you know that? I don't shit. I don't know. I don't know who the fuck that is. You don't know him? No.
But I don't want to belabor this. But let me tell you something. How I learned how to be in every room was because of how we grew up, where our dad worked and had another side too. You know what I'm saying? And those men that he knew would come up to us and have casual, like you just said. Our friends feared those guys, but out of respect for our father, these guys is having conversations with us. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so, what that did for me is to understand how to carry yourself.
Somebody always watching.
You got to carry yourself
Can
a
you
certain way.
Somebody always watching, man.
Yeah,
can you imagine a brother sitting outside the Bun Joe's and everybody teasing and joking and all that stuff, and then you join in, and then he looks you straight in your face and say, "I'm disappointed in
Wild
you."
shit. Wild as shit. The fuck is you doing out here, man?
yeah.
That kind
Why are you with these motherfuckers?
yeah.
I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah,
That happened to me on a number of occasions.
yeah. All right. Well, look, I want to read this what Malika said, and then we're gonna move on to the next thing, and probably be the last thing of the day. Uh, my friends now are surprised to hear that I felt I didn't fit in perfectly. We were all looking through our personal lenses. Others don't have your full story ever. It's real, real.
Isn't that what we just described?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and that, you just go forward, man. You know, um, let me ask you: Do you guys want to have something on this Thankful Friday? Do you want to have something to add before this last subject? Do you have something you want to talk about? I should say. Yeah, I mean it can be trivial, but it is if it's nothing, we'll move on. If you got some, let's chop it up.
It's pretty trivial, man. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the opportunity to make mistakes, man. The mistakes that I've had, I've learned an immense amount from, man. Seriously, and they haven't been uh, dire enough for me to have lost any time or affected my health in any way, and they very well could have. So
Gotcha.
I've been very very lucky and blessed in that regard, because a
Yeah,
lot of shit, a lot of situations I've heard about, people didn't make it through.
that's real. That's real. What about you, Damon?
I can't really think of anything. I mean, I'm grateful for the moment, living in the moment. You know, living in the moment reminded me of past experience, man, that I came to appreciate in my life, and it was just memories of it.
Okay.
I'm like, man, there's a connection throughout the generations. You know what I'm saying? There's a real connection. We are not really lost on that. We connect. I'm talking about our family in general. Immediate and extended.
Okay.
You know, I know. Well, I'll talk to them personally about that. But
Okay. So I want to shout out Stacy Chauncey, our cousin, and Deion Brooks, home team, Detroit, born and bred, for this next subject. Dan Campbell, right? I'm not going to put the actual statement on either one of them, but the three of us had the conversation today about this. One part of the conversation said that we should allow Dan a lot of latitude because Dan took us from mediocrity, really sub-mediocrity, to being a contender now. So when you go 0 for 7 for the last 2 weeks on fourth down, nobody should complain about it. Then the other perspective is still acknowledging him as being a great coach, but having a problem with him doing that, and it should be questioned. Not to ignore, okay, in the press conference, he takes full responsibility, right, for those mistakes, but he keeps making the same mistakes. In your opinion, where do you lie? Which statement do you lie on, or is it in between or whatever? What do you think about it? Do you need me to repeat it over, or?
I think Dan Campbell has more than earned and solidified his right to make those adjustments.
That's number one.
I think he's earned that. You know, he's definitely created a legacy as far as I'm concerned. Even over the short period of time. You know, he's made a difference. You know.
Okay. Damon, what about you?
I think he's earned the time, man. I respect that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he did it his way. You know what I'm saying? He did it his way, and he stand on it. But here's the thing, man. My college coach, I remember we were complaining to my college coach about running the same plays over and over again. You know what that man said? He said, I don't care if we run them over and over again. You know the plays. You practice them. You know what I'm saying? Outplay them. Outdo them. Make them stop you. You know what I'm saying? We can go through the whole year with the same plan. But it's up to you to execute it. And it's up to them to stop you. Who gonna man up and do it? We could keep the same plan. You gotta stop me. You gotta stop me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You and that is true. That's true. The Bulls, they ran the triangle all 6 championships, bro.
Well, we ain't even at that. See, let me tell you.
I'm just saying.
I'm not.
Where did they change anything?
Y'all, I get it, and I'm not disagreeing with both of y'all, man, because y'all, I understand where y'all coming from, right? But Dan lost.
Yeah,
Dan lost me when all he had to do, because we had the best kicker in the game, is kick 2 field goals, and we would have been in the Super Bowl. That's where he lost me at. Now, sometimes, knowing football, I'm finding out, and I have to research this a little more, the reason why he goes on fourth down, not because he has this intuition, it's analytics. Analytics say that going for fourth down is just like a punt. How the fuck is punting from our 40, right? And have them have to run it back to get to our side of the field, then going on fourth down and lose it on downs, and they're on our 40. Analytics is so much BS to me, man, and that's the truth. But my point is, here's my point. I think he's a great motivator, great coach. But I think he belongs in GA, Gamblers Anonymous. That's where he needs to be.
Oh, you
I
finna
mean,
start a trend
yesterday,
now. Oh my Lord.
yesterday, think about what happened yesterday. We scored going into halftime, right? Then, in the beginning of the third quarter, instead of just punting, you go for it again.
The man's a cowboy, man. I mean, you can't
Hey,
be a
bro, I can
can't
see
be a
the
half-
headlines tomorrow.
No.
Dad got a gambling problem.
No, hell no. Hey, I'm joking, but yo,
I know. I'm just kidding,
that's
man.
that's some be. Hey, yo, that's a momentum breaker because you gotta think about it. Love was carving our defense up, right? Then you put them right back. You put them on there before they were ready to be prepared on a short field, and they get a touchdown.
Bro,
That's momentum, man. That's a
we lost
momentum
five.
breaker.
We lost 5 games, man, because our defense is not playing up to snuff.
No,
Okay?
we
Just
hurt.
we don't,
We hurt on
bro.
both
We was
sides.
hurt. We was more hurt last year. And we at least was getting sacks. When the last time we had a sack?
Bro, listen. Our secondary.
That and our
Oh,
offensive line, man.
No. Now listen. This is not that the reason. Dan is not the reason why we're losing. He makes dumbass decisions sometimes. Right? The reason why we're losing is because our offensive line is decimated. They healing, and they're running through our line like it's nothing. 3 weeks in a row, like it was nothing, like we don't
Right.
have a line. And then the defensive line, we're not getting any penetration because they can double Hutchinson because everybody else is hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that he's the reason why we're 7-5. No, not at all. I'm saying that he don't fucking help, man. He don't help.
Here's my opinion, man. Here's my opinion. When you go 15-2 the previous year, you know what I'm saying, and you understand what your strengths are, these are pros, man. They're going to play against your strength.
They gotta get healthy though, bro.
They're gonna play against your, and that's what they took away. That's what they're taking away from the line. They're taking away our strength. Because if you think about it, people got enamored with Gibbs with the long runs and all that stuff. All that stuff is cute. And Montgomery sitting on the sideline. Montgomery should be in the game pounding the ball.
Like they was mixing it up in the beginning of the season.
Pounding the ball.
Yeah.
Hey, brothers. I'm sorry. I got to cut it short, man. Happy holidays, y'all, man. Y'all be safe. Give me a call.
All right, brother.
Love y'all, man. Peace.
Love you too, man. Peace. We ain't gonna be on here for too much longer, Damon. But yeah, I agree with you. And like I said, this is not beating. I like the way he coaches. You know what I'm saying? Where he makes these millionaires not make. He convinces these millionaires to do what? To play hard for the situation. I like that.
Absolutely.
I like that. I just think it is no, and you know what's so crazy about it is Johnson took all our offensive guys with him. He robbed us. And you know, and I don't know how many people Terry Glenn took with him. But see, that's why
we took about 2 or 3 coaches. Yeah.
See, and we're trying to get back on it. But see, this is my thing. I'm gonna ride or die with them. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to, bro. I just don't want to see dumb decisions, man. You know what I'm saying?
Here's where I'm at, bro. Because I'm following. I'm picking up what you're laying down. I hear everything you're saying. Campbell ain't no different than he was last year.
I ain't like it last year, bro.
Yeah, but last year was 15-2, bro.
I know that, but I still didn't like it.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
did not like it.
The adjustment is the adjustment that they made is that they want to be more finesse.
I
You
got
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They want the Lions to be more finesse because we got all these top tier offensive players. They want us to be more finesse. But what he didn't recognize, or what he's not recognizing, is that those top tier offensive players was getting their shit off because we were pounding the ball.
You're right.
It was relentless. You know what I'm saying? When I see Montgomery sitting on the sideline,
No.
I'm thinking,
especially against the Eagles.
Why are you getting away? Let me tell you something, man, and I'm going to leave it to you. I don't care how great you are on defense. If you are out there during extended plays, eventually it's going to wear you down. It's not the same as on offense, bro.
Yeah.
It's not the same. You got to extend plays. Even if you go even if you go forward out, right? You come back and you stick to the same game. Eventually, it's going to break down. Eventually, those defensive players who's making plays and stuff like that, they're gonna falter. You know what I'm saying? The longer you keep them on the field, they're going to falter again. Then that opens up your offense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That opens up the play action. You know, so I'm like, dude, get back to pounding the ball.
I'm gonna tell you, we got to win out to even smell a wild card. We got to win out, which we got a good chance, but we got to win out, man, and got to beat Chicago when they come in town.
Chicago, they're coming into the hardest part of the season. I think that we're going to be in the playoffs and all that stuff through attrition, because it's a black and blue league. It's a black and blue division. They
gotta win out though, Fluke. They gotta win out to have a chance. You know what I'm saying? They have to win
out. I think they're gonna be all right, man. But they got to get back to the basics.
I'm gonna root for them. I'm not gonna give up on it. What's your last word for the day, brother?
My last word, man, is I want to tell my family, man. I wish I would have been there with them up there with Nels. Couldn't make it, man, because and my wife's stressed out. You know, but I'm glad she had a good day yesterday. She cooked a great meal, and we were made whole. I'm glad I heard from my family. I'm glad everybody's safe when they travels. You know what I'm saying? Everything sounds good, you know, and that's a blessing in itself. I think that is what Thanksgiving really is, being grateful that everybody's safe, everybody's being made whole, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a beautiful thing, man, and I appreciate that.
Oh yeah. Malika, always a pleasure, sis. Glad you locked in with us, Robin. You know we love you, Auntie. And everyone else who came in and checked us out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, I'm glad she's doing okay, Malika.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody who had a wonderful Thanksgiving yesterday, I'm glad to hear that. You know, it's all peace and love. But we'll be back here next Friday. I believe we're going to have a special guest. He's in the works right now, but he's going to talk basketball with us. And because he's working in that arena, and it'll be good to just chop it up and see, you know, what's the same and what's changed. Love you too, Malika. But look, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. Please go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. Ask your friends just to take 30 seconds or so to go to our YouTube channel, Strong Perspective Podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. Do us that favor, and we appreciate you.
Hey, one last thing, Keith. Young boy from Belleville, come on now. We need to make it 5 in a row.
That's gonna be something.
We need to make it 5 in a row. Keep the tradition going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we beat Ohio State, we in the playoffs, bro. I believe that.
Good luck to the Michigan Wolverines.
Let the young boy cook.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, look, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. You enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace.
Peace.